Hey, good afternoon, guys. This is Jimmy from Primer is Best. I'm out here at this 66 Chevy C10 truck and going to play around with it for just a little while today. The sun has come out, but I think it's going to be briefly. I think a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours, it's going to be raining again. The weather person said this is the ninth day of the month, and they already said we're over 2.5 inches. Have already 2.5 inches more rain than we're supposed to have for the entire month. So when I tell you it's raining a lot here in East Tennessee, by golly, I'm telling you the truth. It rains a lot here in East Tennessee. And it's kind of hard to get out and do anything. I'm constantly, trying to clean up around here and stuff like that. And I need to do more of it. But hey, I got a couple hours maybe at the most. Mrs. PIB sitting out here talking to one of her friends. And so I'm going to get in this truck. And I think today, just for a little while, I'm not going to get into nothing extravagant, because as soon as I get started pulling out stuff to do things, it's going to start raining. And I just want to have a little bit of fun today playing with this truck. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of patina. Now, if you've been watching my videos, if you have not, let me say this. If you have not been watching our videos, my wife and I, we rattle can paint our trucks. Rattle can paint. This is all rattle can paint. The whole truck. We painted the whole truck. It was mismatched different colors, red, black, teal, and I don't know how many trucks it took to make this truck, but I'm adding a little bit of patina here and there. But if you don't know what patina is, it's this. It does not mean it's a rust bucket, contrary to popular belief of some folks. It's not a rust bucket. It's just a, where the paint is thin, where it's telling a story, where it's showing that it has been used as a truck. I get a lot of people let me say this again. Some people who want to try arguing with me, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to delete your comment. If you're trying to start an argument, you might ought to find another channel and find somebody gullible enough to want to argue with you, because I'm not that person. I'm not going to argue with you about anything. It doesn't matter. It's my truck. I'll do with it as I see fit, because I bought and paid for it. And I don't mean to be rude. I have to do this every once in a while, guys, just because people like to argue.
Patina doesn't mean rusty.
That was perfect. Can you say it one more time in case I didn't hear you?
Patina does not mean rusty.
Patina does not mean rusty. I've tried to explain that to folks, and I'm kind of over it. And if you have a YouTube channel, you probably run into folks like that will argue with a signpost. I'm not going to argue with you. You can find someone else or whatever you want to do. I don't know. People just don't have nothing to do, I don't think. Let's give this thing a crank and see if it'll start. It's been several days since I've started it. And, let me see if I can get in here. If I wasn't such a parts hoarder, I don't know. I don't know what I just said, but it wouldn't be hard to get in this truck at all. But I have C10 parts everywhere, pretty much everywhere. I got rid of all my 62 Chevy stuff. Let's start this fuel pump. It's got an electric fuel pump with a 1992 Chevy 350 truck motor in it that runs excellent. It's still 3-speed on the column, 3 on the tree. I'm acting like you're new to the channel. Wait just a minute, get fuel up here to the carburetor, maybe to start. Nope, it wants to. It's a good truck, man, I really like it. Still got to get fuel up here. It's been a few days since I've, even opened up the garage door to look at it. There it goes. You might hear a squeaky belt. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's when it's damp outside, the belt squeaks. After it warms up a little bit, you know, makes a few revolutions, you don't hear it anymore. Let it warm up here for just a second. I hate to start out the video like I just did, talking about folks that are, some folks are just the way they are. I don't know if they're not happy at home or what. I honestly don't know. I'm starting to think that maybe they're not happy at home, or maybe they're not the, you know, ruler of their domain. I really don't know, but I'm just not the arguing type. I hate to say it, but I've had to just get rid of some folks on my channel that just want to argue all the time, and I just get it to where you just can't make a comment. You know, I don't want to hear it. Nobody else wants to read it, so what's the point, right? Let's see if we can back this up. Let me pause this here so I don't hit anything, okay? Hang in there, guys. Okay, guys, I got it out here. I'm prepared at any moment to pull it back in the garage. New door seals. I got to get used to it. Here's the engine. If you're new to the channel, I just sprayed paint all this flat black. You know, not every bit of it, just most of it I did. I just want it to look original to the truck, you know, clean. That's the thing, clean. Got my little brick here so I can disconnect the battery when I get done. And just going to show you the hood. See all these places on the hood that's in the hood. I rattle can painted this hood rust colored brown. And then I painted this almond gloss if you're new to the channel. Okay. Now the reason I painted it brown is because this hood was orange, you know, reddish orange. And I'm trying to get everything to kind of match. So everything that was reddish orange, which was the bed, the tailgate was black, the hood was, the bed and the hood I think are off the same truck. I'm going to say this one more time. This truck has been pieced together, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just been pieced together, and I'm trying to stay out of their conversation. So it's a pieced together old truck, and it belonged to this feller, and I don't know him. This is the story I got. It belonged to this feller that was trying, I'm assuming in the late 80s, maybe early 90s, you know, trying to fix him a 66 Chevy C10 truck with the best parts that he could find. At that time, you could go to the junkyard, you could probably find a, you know, 64, 5, 6, whatever Chevy truck at that time, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s. I used to go to the junkyard all the time, find all kinds of treasures, but I just didn't have no money, didn't have the money to buy any of it. You know, looking back now, I thought, man, I walked right by this. I think about things that I've seen at the junkyard I wish I could have got, but guys, I just didn't have no money, I promise you. None. And anyway, I won't get into the whole story of why I was broke, but has something to do with the ex-wife. But anyway, so he was trying to build him a truck the best he could with the parts he could find. So that's what he did. And then he wound up selling the truck to another friend of mine. And actually, I seen him the other day. The guy that had the truck after the first guy, okay, he had it for 17 years in his garage. So it's basically untouched. But it's sitting on a 1972 Chevy C10 truck frame. So when you look at it. But I seen my friend that used to own this truck that had it for 17 years by accident. And he told me he has another cow for this truck, and he said he'd give it to me. Isn't it? That's such a nice guy. I'm so glad I've met him, and he's a part of my life. You know, I can ask him questions and whatnot. And he's just a really nice guy. I mean, the Lord puts people in your life sometimes that or meant to be there. So I guess my wife just killed a bug or a spider or something. Anyway, so then my buddy Charlie got it. GM1038. His name is Brian, and he's on YouTube. That's his name, GM1038. He got the truck, and his dad Charlie had it, and I bought this truck from Charlie. So, and we've got it to this point thanks to my friends. Like I said, GM1038 Brian. Please subscribe to his YouTube channel, and Charlie, his dad, and of course you got Tim Dixon at Gas Axe Chop Shop that done all the metal work on this thing. I'm feeling the water. Oh, it's off the trees, I'm hoping. We can't catch a break here in East Tennessee as far as not having any rain. But hoping that's what it is. Anyway, so we've got the truck to this point. So anyway, so now I'm looking at the truck, and I don't want to go overboard on the patina. So I think I'm might get my sanding sponges. I call them sanding bricks, but sanding sponges, and kind of go over some of this and make the paint look a little bit thin. The thing is, I'm trying to make it look like it's the original paint, or maybe if it's been painted a long time ago, a long time ago, and it's, just, it's been used as a truck. Does that make sense? Anyway, my buddy, I can't brag enough on my buddy, my friends, my family, my friends, GM1038 on YouTube, and Tim Dixon at Gas Axe Chop Shop. Tim's on Facebook if you type in Gas Axe Chop Shop. Gas Axe Chop Shop. Axe is spelled A-X-E. Tim done all the metal work on this. Put the exhaust on. I mean, this truck has had a lot of work done to it. And it's work that, I couldn't do myself. If I can do stuff myself, I'll do it myself. But, I don't have a welder. I don't have a paint booth. I'm not a mechanic. I mean, I don't mind helping. I'll jump right in there with you and do whatever you want me to do. Putting a motor in. I've done that a few times with my friends on my cars when I had 62 Chevy cars. But I'm just, I don't have no facilities really to do it. And I don't have the know-how to rebuild an engine or whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to add a little bit of patina on here. I was trying to stay out of her conversation. But see these places like this? I just think they look great. And I know I've showed y'all that before. This. And see, I done all this. My wife painted the letters. Didn't she do a great job? Big shout out to her, Miss PIB. Thank you. And she's a lot more patient than I am. She used to work with 4-year-old children. That was her job. And I think that's why we get along so well, right? Because she's used to dealing with 4-year-olds. And I think at times I could, oh, never mind, you beat me to it. You pointed at me. At times I'll probably act like a 4-year-old. So anyway, so I'm going to get me some Dixie cup and a Q-tip, spray me some brown in there, and get my sanding sponges. And I've got my sponsor here. If I do too much, she'll tell me to whoa, right? Cut it off, stop. Yep. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time. And remember, I rattle canned this truck. Rattle can painted it. So if I don't like it, all I got to do is spray back over it. It's no big deal. We're just trying to get it to where it looks natural. Not overboard, just natural. The truck has lots of imperfections. I don't think I'm going to deal with this very much. This is just dents. But at the time, that's probably the best fender this guy that started building this truck could come up with at that time in the late 80s, maybe early 90s. The fenders are mismatched. I mean, one fender was one color, one fender was another. And, like I said, it's the best he could probably come up with at that time. And, see, the doors were mismatched. It's not that, I mean, it's the best he could find. And I'm trying to live up to what he was trying to do, see his vision, do his dream truck. And I don't know who he is. Maybe he might find this channel if he's still alive. I don't know. But I'm trying to do his vision and, make this truck the best I can. a lot of people have dreams about what their car or truck should look like. Some people might not like these wheels. Some people might not like this color. But my wife and I do, and so this is what we're doing. But I'm not doing nothing that's actually hurting this truck. I'm actually saving this truck. So anyway, I'll get back with you in just a minute, guys, and we'll see what we can come up with, okay? Hang right in there. Oh, okay, guys, I got my... Oh, I guess I should have showed you what I was using. In case somebody doesn't want to do this. I'm using leather brown satin from our local co-op store. It's kind of rust colored. And that's what I sprayed the hood with before I sprayed this almond gloss paint from the co-op store, our local co-op store. So, got me a Q-tip, and I also have my sanding sponges. Get them at Walmart or, you know, anybody that sells paint, you know, in a gallon or spray paint, whatever. I use them a lot. But here's what I'm doing. And like I said, if I don't like it, all I gotta do is rattle a can back over it, and I'm back to the beginning. No big deal whatsoever. So I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna go a little bit here, a little bit there. And hang on a minute, guys. Okay, guys, my neighbor stopped by for just a minute and was speaking to my wife, and I really didn't want to get them in the video. So, oh yeah, see these? I hope I don't spill this. See these places right here? I'm not trying to mislead anybody. I don't know why, but if somebody buys a truck from me, I tell them everything I know about it. Now, I mean, if something else happens to it, I didn't know it, because the Lord is always listening, and, you know, listening to what I say and what you say as well, and our actions. And anyway, I just try to be as honest as I can be. And I want to give a real quick, I was thinking about this, I want to give a big old shout out to my friends that I watch, well, friends and channels that have reached out to me on YouTube before. I want to tell you this real quick, then I'll get busy. Before I started YouTube, you know how you watch YouTube videos from somebody and you watch them for, you know, a few times or a week or two, and, you know, they're doing this and they're doing that, you know, to their car or truck, whatever you happen to be watching. It just so happens I watch cars and trucks being messed with most of the time. So I reached out to some people on YouTube that, you know, had big channels, and I was trying to get my channel up and going. I said, would you mind, you know, you know, could you do me a shout out? Watch my YouTube channels if you like, you know, if you'd give me a shout out, I sure would appreciate it. And you know, I said it'd mean a lot to me. I said I watch all your videos and stuff. They would not do me a shout out, and they were somewhat rude and even asking me that, I mean, even that I asked them to do a shout out for me, because one of them in particular, I'll never forget what he said, and y'all might watch them, and if you do, that's okay. I'm not going to name names. That's not the way I do things. But he said, you know, he said, I had to do this by myself. Nobody helped me, and he said, you need to do it for yourself too. And I thought, well, that's not the way to do people, is it? I mean, if you've reached a high level, you know, plateau or whatever in whatever you're doing, you know, it's just like I just use this for an example. I used to be a welder, okay, aluminum welder, and I was, my buddy and I were so good at, we worked at a big factory, and we were so good at it that when it came time to do tests for the state of Tennessee so they could stay state certified, they always got us two out of the whole plant to do the weld tests. And you know, and they would all, you know, sometimes new folks would come in and they'd ask us to help train new employees, you know, how to weld and how things go. And I was more than happy to do that. I mean, because I was in that shape myself. At one time, I didn't know how to do that. So to help someone, that's the way you're supposed to do. Anyway, here I go. I'm going to name off some folks that I watch, and I wish that you would like and subscribe to them. Built on a Budget. That's my buddy. Built on a Budget. He has some great YouTube content, and I enjoy watching every video that he makes. Built on a Budget. And he has a 65 truck like this that he has named Armstrong. And he's working on a 69. Now, I'm really interested in that 69 Chevy truck he's working on. And I think you will enjoy his channel. And besides that, he's a good guy, and he's a stand-up guy, and he gives shout-outs. And to me, that speaks volumes after what I just told y'all. The other people I watch is Clausen Customs. Clausen Customs. CLAWSON Customs. And Chevy Land TV. Chevy Land TV. And there's a bunch of folks. I'm sure I'm leaving a bunch out, but just off the top of my head, I wasn't planning on saying this, but sometimes things just stick out to me. And some folks that don't know me from anybody, that don't even know I exist. I watch Half-Ass Customs. He's in Canada. And see, I just watch different folks, and I like to watch, people that's working on Novas. I think his name is Shop 209. He doesn't know me. And I watch Gibson 63. Gibson 63. He messes with these trucks, and I've learned a lot from him. I've even learned the color to get the interior color right on the metal. He shows that in his videos. I really enjoy his videos. Of course, GM 1038 on YouTube, Brian. He's my buddy. And his dad Charlie, and of course Tim Dixon and stuff. But I'm sure there's some I'm leaving out, and if I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, I truly don't, but that's just off the top of my head. And there's a lot of good folks out there, and if somebody asks you to, would you care to give me a hand up? You're already up the ladder. Can you turn around and give me a hand up so I can reach where you're at? Give them a hand. Give them two hands. Help pull them up to where you're at. That doesn't hurt anybody. And the Lord will smile down upon you for it. Okay. I've said enough, haven't I? Let me get started. I just want to see what this would look like. Let me see. Set this right here. Here's what I'm doing, guys. Finally getting around to it, aren't I? Okay, I shook my can of paint up, and see I got a little bit of brown on here. Let me change hands, because I am right-handed. Let me make sure this is closed up here. Here's what I'm doing, okay? I don't know if y'all can see this very well, but I'm just kind of dabbing a little bit here and there. That's too much, isn't it? But I'm just trying to... So if you look at the truck, you'll be going, hey, that's been painted a long time ago. And see, when this dries, I mean, like I said, if I don't like it, I'll just paint over it. But see, this was already here. So I'm just going around just a few little spots here and there. Nothing major, nothing extravagant. Just doctoring it up there a little bit. And see, I'll get my sponge and wipe that off, and it won't look that pronounced. We can just kind of see it. My wife is talking to one of her friends, and I'm trying to stay out of their conversation. So, no big deal. I'm just trying to make it look like there's a little bit of rust here. Anyway, let me see what this looks like from a distance. It might look pretty bad. I'm going to let that dry a minute, and we'll see what we can get into on that. I just want to see how that's going to look before I go any further. Let's see now. Some of this stuff right here I'll be able to do with my sanding sponge, but I was going to go down through here. See this? This is a dent. I guess I'm hoping you can see it. Anyway, I'm just going to get my Q-tip and just kind of gently. I might have to put some more on it, huh? We'll see. Let me get a little bit more. I either get too much or not enough. Just barely enough where you can see that it's... When I go like this, I just kind of pull my hand away, where it looks like, no rhyme or reason. You know what I mean? That makes sense. I'll put a little bit right here. And my wife will tell me if I've messed up. My sponsor. My sponsor to this channel, Mrs. PIB. There's a little scratch here. I'm trying to do things so see, I'll scrub that off here in just a minute. I'm trying to do things so it's easily, if I don't like it, I'll spray back over it, and I've done that before lots of times. No biggie, no biggie. Just trying to make it look natural. And when I get done scrubbing it, it'll look much better. Hope I'm not boring y'all to death. I don't mean to. See, that looks pretty good from a distance. Looks like a scratch. It went through some of the paint, but not all of it, and it's just where it has, it's kind of thin. You know what I mean? Okay, here's a dent right here. This truck's got lots of dents. But the guy that was fixing this up must have really thought a lot of this truck for him to be trying to, build the nicest one he could on his budget. Remember, there was a time when you could not call up LMC. You could not call up a place that sold car or truck parts and just say, hey, send me this, send me that. It didn't exist back then. Your best friend at that time, or my best friend when it came to looking for car and truck parts, was Hemmings Motor News. And that was like, I could just get one every once in a while. I had a friend that would, he would buy them. They was like $20 or something, I think. They were real expensive. They was a real thick book, like about this thick, full of all kinds of car and truck parts for sale all over the country, all over the world. And he would give me his old one. When he got done with it, it might be a month or two old, but I was struggling. Oh my goodness, I was married, children, and trying to make ends meet on a budget that wasn't very much at all. And I didn't know it, but I was having to keep up another feller too that was y'all probably didn't want to hear that, but I was trying to keep up another feller too, and I didn't even know I was keeping him up. Meaning my wife was, at that time, not Mrs. PIB, my ex-wife. She was having some fun without me knowing it. So it's the way it goes sometimes. But I'm a better man for it, because I got Mrs. PIB. I got a good one this time, didn't I? Yep, I sure did. The Lord was watching over me. Okay, let's see. Here's a spot down here. It's kind of pronounced. I'll just kind of... Oh, okay. That's kind of... Paint's kind of... I don't know, maybe that's too much. If it is, I'll just... I'll fix it. But to me, that looks natural. Let me get my sanding sponge, and I'll do a little bit of scrubbing and see what all this looks like. If it looks too bad, I'll just get rid of it. Anyway, I'll set this here. Hang on with me, guys, and I'll be right back with you, okay? Stay with me. Okay, guys, I done a little bit of with this sanding sponge. I call them sanding bricks, but see, you can still see it, but it's not as dark. I mean, it looks like it's just kind of bubbling up there a little bit. To me, that looks pretty good, but I'll ask my wife, see what she says, because I get carried away. See what we can do here. I'm using the edge of this. And one of these days, if somebody else winds up with this truck and they decide they want a real nice paint job on it, they can put it on. No biggie. But see, that looks real like this, doesn't it? I mean, I'm just playing around. I'm trying to make the imperfections come to life. Oh, that looks great. They got different grades of this. They got mild, medium, and coarse. And I don't know what this one is, but it's working. Trying to get this truck ready for penetrol. So, and if you're not familiar with penetrol, I have lots of videos on it, and you might want to subscribe to see how you do it. If you want to do it. You know, you might not want to do it, and that's fine too. That's just fine. I don't know, I kind of like that. I mean, it kind of goes along with this, and like I said, I don't know how this got here, but something must have been riding in the back and rubbed the paint off after we'd painted it over at GM 1038s. We'll just kind of go through here a little bit and see what we can make this look like. See how it's coming through. Some of y'all might be disappointed that I'm doing this to this truck, but I'm telling you, when you walk up on it, I mean, you see all these things. I'm not trying to, yeah, it looks good from 5 feet away, 10 feet away, whatever, but you know, if you've already got the imperfections, why not bring them out? I mean, I think it looks good. I hate to walk up on something like I used to do at car shows and when I used to go to them, and you know, you walk up on something and think, man, that looks good, beautiful paint job, and then you get up on it and they have, you know, painted over, you know, like I'm showing y'all, and you know, I just don't particularly care for that. I mean, if you got imperfections, bring them out. You know, doesn't have to be. Perfection is in the eyes of the beholder, isn't it? And you know, it's like a beautiful car or a truck. You might like foreign cars or Alfa Romeos. You know, I'm talking big again. You might like a Jaguar, say like. Some people like them, some people don't. I mean, they're fine, I guess, but it's not really, you know, my cup of tea. But whatever. Everybody's different. Same way with this. See? Dusty? Yeah, I'm going to have dust all over me. But you see, that looks good, doesn't it? If I show you. Not going overboard. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. Well, this looks like the paint's been on here a long time. See how that pops out? Oh my goodness, that looks great. I saved my old sanding sponges just because when they're wore out, you know, you can kind of see if you need to go a little deeper or not, you know. And if you do, you go get you one that's, you know, pretty new. If not, like this one, I've used this a bunch. It's doing just fine. I don't want to cut real deep. Sorry for the dust blowing in y'all's face. But just showing you what I'm doing, guys. It's not rocket science. like that. Imperfections. This truck's worked. And then somebody fell in love with it and, you know, decided to fix it up. This is be where your arm would rest on here. Like I said, some of y'all's probably going to be disappointed in me, but this is what I do on this channel. I can't afford a big, beautiful paint job, and even if I could, I still wouldn't, because I like that. I like that right there. Like where somebody's arm is hanging off, it tells a story, doesn't it? Somebody's had the window down and drove this thing in the summertime, and their arm is hanging out. A lot of fingernails and hands have been here to open this door. And you know what, guys? This time next year, if I still have this truck, all I gotta do if I get tired of it is see what I mean about different colors? That's teal. Somebody else wants to put a full-fledged paint job on it, well, they more than welcome, huh? But see, if you walked up on it now, that's what I'm doing, you might be thinking that, hey, that's original paint, maybe. Or if it's been painted a long, long time ago. Okay, I'm going to pause this here. I'm going to do a little bit more. Y'all get the gist of it, and I'll show you what I get done here in just a few minutes. Hang in there with me, guys, okay? Okay, guys, I think I'm going to call it a day because it's feeling really moist and like it's going to rain here in just a minute. So I'm going to clean up all my mess, put my oldies but goodies radio up, and Mr. PIB is going to have to wrap it up if you want to. The truck basically looks the same, doesn't it? Until you get up close to it. And all I'm doing is enhancing the imperfections. See? And when I put, this has just got water on it, this paper towel, see? It'll look like that when I put Penetrol on it. I went around through here just going around the truck, and this is not a good representation. I got the leaf blower and blew off all the dust. There's a ton of dust, but I went down through here on the high spots that I thought would get the most abuse from being out in the weather, you know, being in rainstorms, whatever. And you can see the imperfections here. All I'm doing is wiping dust, aren't I? But I'm not done with the truck by any stretch. I still got to do a bunch more to this thing. But I have went around through here, you know, where things would rub. You know, it's an old truck, an old 66. You know, things rub where the paint's thin. Up through here, and I still got to do the top. A lot of the stuff I didn't have to use no Q-tip or nothing. I just scrubbed it with my sanding sponge. Just done this, went that through here with my sanding sponge. And, you know, through here, where if you had your hand out the window, you might be just have your fingers up there. I've done that millions of times. You know, a little thin here on this ridge. I still got to do the rest of the top. Here, where you would be grabbing the door to open it or close it, you know, if the window was down. Just picture yourself a farmer or whatever, you know, this... you know, where your arm's hanging out, you know, and how I mean, nobody was fixing these things up in 1966, I mean, who'd ever thought they'd be here in 2024, right? Where your gas pump would be probably hitting right there. The paint's thin, paint thin, paint's kind of thin, little boo-boos here and there, but just random, nothing, you know, uniform. Got my sanding sponge and went through here. Just, you know, when I started seeing brown, I stopped. All down through here. I mean, it looks natural. And like I said, you know, I'm not trying to mislead anybody. I'm telling you that this is a rough truck. I mean, it's an old rough truck.
But it's not rusty.
But no, it's not rusty. No. It's an old rough truck. It's still here in 2024. I don't think I'm going to do any more to the tailgate at all. I like this and this where I done that, and that's just about it as far as the tailgate goes. I think that's plenty enough. Done the same thing on this side. Somebody at one point has put a little Bondo here, and I'm not hiding nothing. It is what it is. I mean, if you've seen this at a cruise in or whatever, I mean, you think, yep, this is just an old Survivor truck that somebody's, you know, fixed up, put a set of wheels on and lowered it and put a V8 motor in it, or, you know, whatever. But that Penetrol really make this stuff, wish my napkin or paper towel wasn't so dirty, but it'll really bring out these spots. I still got to go along through here with my sanding sponge again, but I told my wife, I said, we're going to have to call it a day because it's fixing to,
That's a dark cloud.
yeah, going to have a downpour. I made this thin, and that's what it'll look like with Penetrol, shiny and thin, just like that. It's going to look just like that, and I like that look. Done the same thing here. You know, this door was teal. You know, wear your fingers and hands and gloves on or whatever you're doing at this truck. I've got it listed as a joint, which means it works for farmers. It delivered produce or whatever in the truck, or with it pulling a trailer or whatever to a site that sold vegetables, or you know, maybe a manufacturing facility that, you know, they bought all the guys' tomatoes, whatever. And went down through here with my sponge. I mean, all I'm doing is bringing out the imperfections that were already there. Can I cover it up with paint and nobody see it for 5 feet away? Sure, but I'm not that guy. I'd rather somebody think of this truck as being an honest truck, as I would, you know, well, he's trying to mislead somebody or something. I'm not that guy. Anyway, just thought I'd show you what I got done so far. Thin, just random, you know, maybe where branches run up on it or whatever. I think all that's pretty cool. I still got to do all the top, and of course I got from here down, and of course the front up in here, maybe a little in here. This is where your hood latch is at, so I mean, I'd have to do a little, make it look a little bit thin or something right in there. But basically, you know, I think I'm going to call this enough, you know, for up here, maybe, at least for now. I just don't want to be in a downpour, because it don't give much warning here. It just starts pouring rain. There's no middle ground. But y'all let me know what you think about this 66. And I got one more thing to do if I have time. Hang on, guys.
Sun's coming out again.
What?
It's getting brighter again.
Yeah, it's getting brighter again. Hang on, guys. I'm going to put another tag on this thing. Hang on, okay? If I have time. Hang on. Okay, guys, I had enough time to change the tag. I think, Mrs. PIB, you like this tag better? She likes this tag better. She's already mentioned to me a bunch, and I've had a bunch of subscribers that have said they like this tag better. So, still collecting names for now, but it's, well, we'll just see what happens. Anyway, we'll come up with a good name for it. It's not going to be Nose Picker. I've only had one or two people say that they like that name, so it doesn't.
Even if you had 4,000 people saying,
That's my wife, Mrs. PIB, my sponsor. Oh, I was going to show you this too, just for kicks. This Chevrolet is blue. You know, all this is blue, and you know, the bow tie is blue is what I'm getting at. So it all matches. It's pretty much period correct. So I'm just going to go with this tag. That'll save a lot of confusion and a lot of misunderstandings, right? Anyway, the sun's come back up for just a moment, guys, but I've just about got all my stuff put up, and I think I'm going to get me a shower, do the world a favor. So, but this tag here, I've kind of got it made up in my mind at my 1980s Chevy C10 truck that is at GM 1038s on YouTube. I might put this on there, right?
yes,
The 1980.
we'll put it on one of ours. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it on. I'm real grateful for Tim Dixon giving me this tag. I'll never get rid of it, just because he gave it to me and it's special to me. And I think I had this tag on the front of my 62 Impala that I sold a few years ago. Two-door hardtop. Been in my family my whole life. And I sold it. So I miss it, guys, but there's...
The car, not the tag.
Yeah, the car. Yeah, I miss the car. I mean, I still got the tag, obviously. I want to thank GM Tim again. Just in case you're new to the channel, I could not find bumper guards for this truck. None whatsoever. My wife, Mrs. PIB, and I called Junkyards, LMC, you know, all those name brand. And then we called private junkyards in Texas, Oklahoma, Colorado, California, Arizona. Yeah, I mean, we called everybody that supposedly might have bumper guards for a 66.
The supply's not.
Yeah.
They're not coming from Taiwan like they're.
Yeah, the bumper guards are reproduced in Taiwan, but they're not making them for some strange reason. I don't know why. But my friend GM 1038 had these bumper guards. He bought it at a swap meet. And I honestly think, like I've said before, that they're from a 55 Chevy car. I stand to be corrected, but
Let me see if he needs help.
with a little bit of grinding here and there, got them on there. And man, they look good. And in my opinion, they look better than the ones that's supposed to be on it. So I think they look good. Anyway, here it is in the sun before the clouds come back and the rain sets in. The rain is coming, believe it or not. But you can kind of see a little bit here and there, maybe a little bit better now. Not going overboard, just a little here and there. Where it looks like this paint's been on here a long time, even though it's just been a couple of months since we rattle can painted it. This is really this is one of our favorite trucks that we've ever had, I guess. And like I said, this is our first time to have this body style. And somebody made a comment, I don't know when you're seeing this video, made the comment of the name of, calling it the name Dimples. Dimples, that's a good name for this truck, isn't it? Dimples, because it's got little dimples in the chrome and little dimples here, there, and everywhere, little dimples. So the 1966 Chevy C10 truck, Dimples. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. We have all the names written down, and we're going to have a contest. If you'll subscribe to the channel, Primer is Best, my wife and I will pick out, I don't know, 5 or 6 names that just kind of hit us. And you know, when we get that far, we'll let y'all, from then on, majority will rule, and you can pick a name for this truck. We always name our vehicles. That's Cat Eye, that's a Xbox, and this one needs a name. So I'm kind of glad y'all can see the imperfections, y'all, because y'all might come up with a better name for this truck. So than what's already been suggested. But I thank you for watching, and like I said, and you're watching Primer is Best, and appreciate y'all tuning in, and hope that you will subscribe to the channel. Primer is Best. I'm also on Facebook, Primer is Best, Instagram, Primer is Best. Got a second YouTube channel called Man on a Budget, and I'm on Instagram, Man on a Budget 1. My wife and I occasionally do yard sales, flea markets, and thrift stores. I'm like, sometimes, guys, I go blank. Thrift stores, yard sales, and I can't do all three at the same time. I'll leave one out. Thrift store, yard sales, and flea markets. I got it. Whew. Anyway, you might enjoy those videos, things that we find, things that, that pique our interest, that, that we find on the cheap. And you might enjoy that channel as well. Hopefully you will. And I still will occasionally put old cars and old trucks up on that channel that I do not own, but just randomly as on our travels. If somebody gives me permission, I'll do a video on their car or truck. If I think it's interesting to me, it's probably going to be interesting to you as well. So I appreciate y'all tuning in, and please give me a thumbs up on this channel. Don't forget those folks that I have mentioned. If you'd subscribe to their channel, Built on a Budget, and the rest of my friends, GM 1038, Clausen Customs, Chevy TV, my friends. So, and I'm sure I've left some of y'all out, and if I did, I'm sorry. But I'm an old man, and I'm getting absent-minded, so let me know what you think. I think the truck is going to look great when we get all the patina done. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. It's still going to look good, and it won't look like it, it won't look like a new paint job. It'll look like it's an old truck that is a survivor. That's what I like, patina style trucks. Y'all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. God bless each and every one of y'all, and be sure to pray for others. Watch your tongue, at your worst enemy. And it can also be a very good friend if you brag on somebody on how they're doing, or what, you like their hair, you like their car or their truck, whatever the case may be. A kind word goes a long way, a long, long way. And I'd appreciate it if y'all would help me to, maybe we can get this movement started where we brag on each other's good points, and make people feel good. Make people feel good about themselves. The Lord's watching us always, guys, and we can always, it's easy to build someone up, isn't it? To make them feel good and have a great day. Hope y'all have a great day. God bless y'all. Stay safe, and give me a thumbs up, like I said. You won't miss nothing if you like and subscribe to Primer is Best and Man on a Budget. Say bye, Miss PIB. One more time.
Bye.
Sometimes I try to get her. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day. I'll see y'all later, okay?